Impeachmentgate. The scandal is much worse and plot much thicker than anyone knows. Democrats' 2020 strategy to overthrow Trump and the three witches. As Pelosi prorogues the House, a dangerous precedent is set as the balance of power is forever altered. Let's be clear, everything about the rush to impeach President Trump has been highly irregular and suspect. That's because what Democrats are doing is quite obviously unlawful and patently seditious. As Speaker of the House, Nancy the Knife Pelosi has acted in a manner that is so scandalous they're now calling it Impeachmentgate. Pelosi is using the House of Representatives to usurp the power of the POTUS. Not only does the House hold the power of the purse over the President, a corrupt Speaker can further misuse and abuse other seized powers to thwart White House agenda via prorogation. In the present case of Impeachmentgate, Pelosi and her House collaborators are recklessly and illegally arrogating powers onto themselves in an act of outright defiance and thinly veiled sedition. Key points: the far-reaching ramifications of this dangerous arrogation of power by the House leadership are quite staggering. The adverse repercussions to the orderly operation of the US federal government will be felt well into the future. For the delicate balance that exists between all three branches due to the separation of powers has been profoundly eroded by Pelosi. The very foundation of this constitutional republic has been shaken by the Speaker, who has proven she can retaliate against the POTUS because of political differences. She is singly using an arbitrary, unilateral, and summary judgment to begin impeach proceedings, which she does not lawfully possess, as a billy club. In the instant case, what Pelosi, Schiff and company are really avenging is Trump's attempt to find out the truth about the origin of the Russiagate hoax. This cynical revenge taken against Trump must be answered with a definitive response before the nation is plunged into a civil war. Of course, in the wake of the utterly failed Russiagate hoax, the very same traitors to the Republic are implementing yet another soft coup. That would be Ukrainegate. Proroguing the House, Pelosi has shown just how far she will go down the rabbit hole of lawlessness and rebellion by calling for a formal impeachment inquiry without even a calling for a proper vote. In so doing, the hopelessly corrupt Pelosi has set an extremely dangerous precedent for the Speaker of the House to hold the POTUS hostage anytime she so pleases, with the threat of impeachment. This has never happened before. Previous impeachment hearings have always been triggered by a full vote of the House. As a result, the sword of Damocles now hangs over the POTUS should he not submit to the Democrat-driven globalist agenda. Pelosi et al. Are very afraid to call the necessary vote because of so many House seats currently held by Democrats in red states and/or red districts around the country. They know 2020 will not be kind to them should so many Democrats candidates vote for impeachment in closely contested battleground districts. Hence, Pelosi's overturning centuries of precedent, procedure, and propriety in order to remove Trump from office illegitimately. The coup plotters know that if they cannot get a conviction in the Senate, they will at least stall the impeachment proceedings in the House in an effort to destroy Trump's campaign season. After all, what president ever wants to run for re-election under the constant threat of impeachment and/or during subsequent trial? Even if they fail to carry out this treacherous scheme, the Democrats will use it to tie up Trump with so much distraction and chaos that this conservative agenda will be severely impeded during the last year of this term. Key point: as if by some cosmic design, Prime Minister Boris Johnson recently attempted a prorogation of the UK Parliament in an unparalleled fashion. The highest court in Great Britain subsequently ruled against such an usurpation of powers. But the matter is not over with. However, in Johnson's case, the purpose was to compel Parliament to respect the Brexit vote and carry out the legally binding mandate. Pelosi and Schiff, the frickin' frack of Impeachmentgate. If it's not evident already, the frickin' frack of this impeachment fiasco are Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff. These two bad actors will go down in congressional history as the truly tragic villains who attempted to destroy the American Republic. And do you know what? If the alt media was running at full tilt, these despicable clowns would have been successful, only because these two agents of deep state are the face of the New World Order globalist cabal. Are they permitted to get away with murder in broad daylight? That is the assassination of the POTUS. Malicious character assassination is every bit as grave crime as a violent murder, by the way. Especially when the intention is to ruin a man that can be easily set up as a target for a classic CIA-coordinated assassination hit, like they did with JFK. Is this nefarious plot to politically assassinate Trump dangerous to the extreme? Just who is pulling Pelosi's string that she is willing to seriously risk her place in history forever? Then there is Lion Schiff, as Trump likes to call him. How Schiff is still occupying a seat in the House profoundly strains credulity. It's entirely true. Only by understanding Schiff's true masters can the depth and breadth of his naked criminality and corruption be correctly apprehended. Likewise, only by comprehending Schiff's handlers via IMPEACHMENTgate can his serial prevarication and malfeasance be properly understood. There is another crucial angle on Schiff's backstory, which will explain his criminal MO. This expose describes in great detail how his deep state masters train him over his entire career to function as the stealthy political hitman, Adam Schiff, deep state agent, serial leaker, and traitor to the Republic. Illicit scheme to impeach Trump has multiple malevolent purposes. Truly, this conspiracy to wrongfully impeach Trump has so many purposes and goals, it's difficult to keep track of them all. That's because of who is really leading the charge from behind. Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, and George Soros, to name just a few. There are also big tech and big social media, big pharma and big agra, as well as the host of other aggravated sectors of corporate America. However, it's the international banking cartel that's really working its magic behind the scenes, and which needs a lot of cover in order to pull off what will be the biggest fleecing of the American people in US history. It's of paramount importance to understand at this late date that there is a planned controlled demolition of the global economic and financial system. The current GE and FS paradigm, with all of its fatally flawed platforms, is facing the mathematical certainty of bankruptcy, so the financial masters of the universe have opted to control the free fall collapse right into its own footprint in order to avoid massive collateral damage to their interests. Herein lies the very heart of IMPEACHMENTgate conspiracy. Such a mesmerizing global melodrama only takes place with the consent of the most powerful Illuminati families who dominate the present incarnation of the black nobility. Of course, just as George Soros is nothing but a bagman for the Rothschilds, and the Rothschild banksters are but the low-level face of black nobility, so too are the Clintons, Obamas, Bidens, Bushes, and other political crime families in the firmament of American government, merely menial henchmen. The three witches. Now we come to the real Democrats' 2020 strategy to overthrow Trump. Whenever the IMPEACHMENTgate women are triggered, you know it's about to get very serious indeed. Well, we are at that point exactly, with the ongoing rollout of the three witches. Just who are the three witches and what is their role in this complex criminal conspiracy to overthrow the POTUS and liquidate the American Republic? What follows is just the tip of the iceberg of the exceedingly deep and broad conspiracy to destroy the United States of America. Conclusion. This is it, people. The remaining 13 months between now and Election Day 2020 will prove to be the most decisive in modern US history. Some of the transparently staged events which we're about to witness in the US and abroad may be highly consequential, as the 9/11 false flag terrorist attacks. Remember, it's all about shock and awe, so that the electorate will be sufficiently traumatized, so that they can be compelled, coerced to vote against their own interest, which means they are unwittingly supporting the ever-expanding despotic technocracy. What the American people are about to see is a series of October surprises, which really began this past September with Ukrainegate hoax. The globalists know they have to start early this election cycle. They actually inaugurated this quadrennial manipulation of the electorate by promoting the utterly bogus Russiagate hoax on November 9, 2016. The NWO globalists will roll out one seditious scheme after another, one fake scandal after another, one disruptive conspiracy after another, in the interest of ousting Trump or preventing his re-election. That incorrigible cabal of criminally insane psychopaths is absolutely determined to implement the final phase of the New World Order agenda towards the establishment of a one-world government. Because the outcome of the 2020 election is an integral piece of that covert agenda, the NWO perps will dramatically increase the number and intensity of black operations and psyops. Each of these, as always, is designed to distract, divert, and misdirect as needed by the perpetrators. For the globalists have only one way out of this planetary catastrophe they purposefully created. In light of this swiftly evolving predicament, preemptive strikes such as this one will go a long way to thwarting their repugnant goals. The multi-century NWO plot is being sabotaged from every direction just as their all-important timeline is continually obstructed. In the end, it is only people power and overwhelming force that will end the reign of tyranny that this race of humanity has suffered under over millennia. The powers that be have been in power for so long that they will not give up their seats unless they are facing very real existential threats. The time is now upon us, folks. The globalists will not go away without a fight. Bottom line, the Clintons and Obamas, Soroses and Bidens, Pelosi's and Schiffs are the compromised agents in the middle. Any public figure who is prominently configured as such will genuinely represent the interest of we the people when they fear their respective constituencies more than they fear their deep state masters. This vital understanding alone ought to define the next move made by the Patriot Movement. State of the Nation, October 6, 2019.